Welcome to my channel. My name is Gene. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. If you are new here and you love handbags as much as I do, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow it and I would love to have more people within this fun little community that I'm building here. As I've said in prior videos, I've really appreciated and I'm really touched by all the support I've gotten since I started this venture 2 years ago. Support by people watching my videos, commenting, as well as subscribing to my channel. And then there's the support I get from other YouTubers as well that mention me or tag me in their videos. And today is one such of those videos. And I think this is a really interesting and brilliant idea. And it was created by Living Lux with Meredith, and she tagged me in her video. So thank you so much, Meredith. And Nick J. Snell also tagged me in his video, so I appreciate him tagging me as well. I will link their videos below, but if you're not familiar with their channels, I really suggest you check them out. Meredith is out of Australia, and she not only has a wealth of knowledge that I don't have, I've learned so much from her. She also has the most amazing handbag collection I have ever seen. So a wealth of knowledge plus tons of eye candy, and we all love that eye candy. That's what really interested me in her channel at first, but I've gotten so much more out of her than just viewing her bags. So check her out. Nick is, I believe he's out of the UK, and I love his channel too. He's got a really fun personality. He's really outgoing. He's really knowledgeable as well. And he's one of those male YouTubers that is helping me find my courage to drift more over into the women's handbags lines. So love them both. Check out their channels. But the point of this video is there's inside the actor's studio where an actor comes in and they answer a bunch of questions. We use YouTube Studio to manage our content. So Meredith came up with this great idea called Who Am I? Inside the YouTube Studio. She created a list of questions, answered her questions, and I love these because I've gotten to know more about these other YouTubers that have partaken in this video tag. It's been going around, and it's just fun to learn more about them outside of fashion, luxury, handbags, and all of that stuff. So I've got the list of questions here. So I'm going to go through them, and then I'm going to tag some other people at the end of this video of other YouTubers that I want to get to know more. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I would love to hear what you all love too. So, please feel free to answer some of these questions yourselves in the comments section. So let's get started here. The first question is, which designers, design houses have made the greatest impact on your fashion choices and purchases? Well, I'm really new to this. I didn't start buying luxury handbags until just over a year ago. So this is all fairly new to me. But I will say the two brands that I absolutely love the most are Louis Vuitton and Dior. Louis Vuitton, I am just a sucker for this monogram print. I just think it is so beautiful and I'm obsessed with it. And so everything I own from them is in some way in the monogram print, but I also love their clothes, although I just haven't got into buying any clothes yet. I would rather spend money on bags and shop at lower price stores than actually wear clothes from these houses. But nonetheless, I really like them, and Louis Vuitton just had the most incredible spring-summer 2023 fashion show, and just wow on not only the clothes but on the handbags. And you can do a search here and find other YouTubers covering those bags, but really cool stuff. So I really love Louis Vuitton. I feel like, yeah, this is technically a woman's bag, but I feel it's the brand for me that offers the most, since I don't like everything, or most bags I should say, in their men's line, and they to me, offer the most what I consider unisex bags and bags that are not too feminine. The other brand, as I said, I think I said, but it's Louis Vuitton and Dior. Dior is just, I have one bag from Dior. It's more difficult with Dior. I'm not really a fan of their men's line. They don't really have the oblique very much in the men's line, and it's a lot of black, and I don't wear black. So I only have one Dior bag, but this is where I'm trying to work up my courage because I look at Dior clothes, bags, pure art. Honestly, I don't understand what all the hoopla, did I say that right? Hoopla is about with Hermes and Chanel, especially Chanel. Like, if I was a woman, I'm pretty sure Dior would be my favorite brand. You look at bags like the D-Light and the Lady Dior and the saddlebag and the book tote. I mean, it is just pure art. They are stunning, beautiful, interesting. Honestly, I kind of find Chanel and Hermes boring. That being said, I would welcome a Birkin in my collection for sure because I think that's a beautiful bag. But it's Louis Vuitton and Dior for me all day, every day. So I'm trying to work up the courage and get the capital to buy myself a D-Light bag at some point. I don't know. We'll see if I ever get one of those and get the guts to carry it. But it's Louis Vuitton and Christian Dior. The next question is, when you dress for the day or an event, what do you think about? Is there an impression or message you're conveying? I mean, for me, I think Meredith gave the same answer. It's comfort. I'm older now. I'm more of a homebody. I don't really go to events anymore where I have to really dress up in like suits or a tux. I do love going to the symphony, the ballet, and the opera, but it's much more casual these days. So I'll wear a nice pair of like slacks, a buttoned up shirt, of course, a belt, and then I'll take one of my bags. Like, I look nice, but I'm not like wearing any of these designers' clothes. So for me, but I'm mostly casual, like day to day, I'm casual, which is why another reason I'm attracted to this monogram, because it's in brown. And for me, I don't know, I view black as more edgy and dressy and brown as more casual. And so I'm just a really casual person. So I dress comfortably and casually. Next question is, what turns you on creatively? God, I'm trying to do this without my glasses because I hate the way I look in my glasses, but what turns you on creatively? Sorry. So that would be music. I love music. Like, music feeds my soul, and I try to listen to it every day, especially while I work. I just feel it calms me, and it gets my mind really working well, and it's beautiful and fun and all of that stuff. So music is one of my biggest passions. What turns you off? I would say chaos. I like calmness, and when things get chaotic, then my anxiety tends to really go through the roof, and it makes for a really, really challenging time. So I like calmness and tranquility. I hate chaos. How do you celebrate big events or achievements in your life? Well, that would probably be with a nice bag. In the last 2 years anyway, or a nice trip. That's really how I celebrate these types of things. I buy these bags with my bonuses. So if I have a good quarter, that means, maybe I can get more than one bag. And so I celebrate things in that way. Why or what inspires you in your everyday life? I would say it's just art in general. Music, of course, is art. Fashion is art. Paintings are art. Architecture's art. Gardens to me are art, like a beautiful garden. I love gardens. All of that stuff inspires me. I guess beauty. When I see beauty, it inspires me. A beautiful person inspires me. Maybe that's a corny answer, but it's true. I love beautiful things. And I mean, all the stuff I just mentioned, it's all beautiful things. What traits or attributes attract you to people? Definitely a sense of humor. I can take it as well as I dish it. I love laughing at myself. I love when people give me a hard time, tease me, make fun of me. I love laughing. So if I meet somebody and they have a great sense of humor, I'm immediately attracted to them and I immediately want to develop a relationship with them. What traits or attributes turn you off in other people? I would say probably number one is narcissism. With my job, especially before the pandemic, I would go to a lot of networking events, and the whole point is to meet and get to know people. And the thing that turns me off the most is if I'm talking to somebody and I'm asking them question after question after question about themselves, and I'm not getting anything back. And I find that happens a lot. I just get bored to death and I want to get out of there. So I would say narcissism is the big thing that turns me off in other people. 5 adjectives that describe you. I would say I'm funny. As I said, I like to laugh. I love to joke. So funny, good sense of humor is probably my number one, I think. I'm also friendly. I'm a bit of an introvert, but I'm definitely friendly and I like to get to know people and I always give people a chance. I'm very open and honest about myself and vulnerable. I don't care sharing my struggles and my setbacks and my failures with people because I think vulnerability creates trust. If someone is vulnerable with me, I almost immediately bond to them and trust them because I think it says a lot about you if somebody is comfortable being vulnerable to you. And so I love being vulnerable with people. And I don't know if I said 4 already, but the last one I have on here is crabby. I am crabby. I am crabby, 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 and that is something I'm working on. I just did life coaching, which was great and helped me with that, but I tend to, and I guess this is another thing, I tend to be very reactive, especially when it comes to work. Like, it's like feels like an avalanche and everything is doom. And rather than just taking a step back and breathing and thinking everything's going to be okay, I get crabby and moody and reactive. And I think I've made improvements on that certainly this year, but I'm definitely a curmudgeon. What is your favorite word? This may sound corny, but my favorite word is schlampe. It is German for bitch. I just love that word. I don't know why. I heard it in Run Lola Run. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. It's a great movie, but at one point Lola is running and she bumps into this woman and this woman says schlampe. And of course I had the subtitles on it. I was like, oh my God, that word cracks me up. My least favorite word. My least favorite word is hella. Hella. A lot of you watching this might not know what that means. That was actually a word created in the San Francisco Bay Area where I live, and people just use it to emphasize something. This taco is hella good. This flight's hella bad. Hella. I just cringe when I hear that word. I hate that word. But yeah, that's my least favorite word. What sound or noise do you love? I love when jet engines are revving up, like when you're sitting on the tarmac, or I should say on the runway, and they're revving up and you're like all excited because you're off on, well, you're all excited or sad because you're off on your journey on the way there, so you're all excited. And then on the way home, I don't know. I'm always happy to get home usually, but sometimes it's the end of vacation. But I love the sound of jet engines revving up. What sound or noise do you hate? Fireworks. I hate fireworks so much. And I think it really started during the pandemic because when the city called off fireworks for the past 3 years, I swear to God, like from the end of May through a few days after July 4th, it's every night around here fireworks going off, and night of the 4th is terrible. And I think honestly for these people that are doing it, it's more about creating a disturbance than it is about celebrating the 4th of July. And then I also did research on, well, I didn't do research, I should say I stumbled onto an article about how horrible fireworks are for wildlife and how mothers abandon their young in the wild because they are absolutely terrified by fireworks. So I hate fireworks. I'm hoping to move to Palm Springs where there is a strict, they're against the law here too, but San Francisco, anything goes. Why do we even have laws? But in Palm Springs, they are illegal, and they enforce it because the wildfire risk is so severe that can't have fireworks. So I'll be free from fireworks hopefully by next 4th of July. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? That is easy. I would love to be a composer. My biggest passion is probably classical music, and I mean that includes everything: sacred music, opera, symphony, concertos, sonatas, all of it. And I am just always in awe by the composers I love most, and the beauty and magic they create. And I think in another life, I would love to be a composer. What profession would you not like to attempt? This was a hard one, and I thought a lot about this, and I came to politician because I always think with politicians, like, you're a handful of people that can actually make a difference in people's lives, but all these special interests get in the way. And the point of a politician is to be reelected, rather, at least that's my view, to be reelected rather than use their time in office to actually do good. And I don't think this is all politicians, but I think it's most of them. What has been one of the most formative challenges you've overcome? I would say that's when I moved to Seattle back in 1999, in the summer of 1999. I left all my friends in Minneapolis and moved to Seattle on my own. I knew one person there. It was super exciting, but devastating at the same time because I really, really, really missed all my friends. And it was just very hard, knowing one person initially. Then I, of course, built a community there. But, when you only know one person when you go somewhere, well, they have a life too, so they're not going to spend 24/7 with you. So there was a lot of loneliness, but there was also the excitement of discovering a new city, and I miss Seattle so much. But that was one of the really, really big challenges in my life. This question I love: 5 people, dead or alive, you would love to have dinner with. Number 1 for me would be King Richard III. Richard III ruled England for only 2 years, from 1483 to 1485. But I think he is not only the most interesting monarch in the history of England, I think he is the most fascinating and interesting figure in perhaps all of history, at least to me. And what makes that so is he was a key player in the Wars of the Roses, which were a series of conflicts in England from 1455 to 1485, in which 2 houses, York, White Rose, Lancaster, I was so worried I was going to say Lannister, Lancaster with their Red Rose, fighting for control of England and the British, or I should say the English crown. It was England at that time. And that's why it's called the Wars of the Roses. I'm a huge history buff. That is the most fascinating period to me in English history, but it goes even further with Richard III because he is also the central figure in what I consider to be the greatest mystery in English history, and perhaps one of the greatest mysteries in all of history, and that is what happened to the princes in the tower. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, do yourself a favor after this video, go to Wikipedia and search for the princes in the tower. It is the greatest whodunit story ever, and it's real, and no one knows to this date, but Richard III's the prime suspect. So I would just love to have dinner with him and really get an honest answer. Did you do it or did you not? And that would be murdering his 12-year-old nephew, King Edward V, and Edward V's brother, the 9-year-old Prince Richard, and taking the English crown. So really love him. He's fascinating. We're going to stick with monarchs. Number 2 would be Queen Elizabeth II. I think she has lived the most remarkable life, and I would love to just pick her brain and hear her story from her. And she supposedly had an amazing sense of humor, and she has given us glimpses of that over the years. And I have heard that she's used to do an amazing impersonation of Nancy Reagan. So I just think she would be good fun. Third person would be Beethoven. He is, I mean, he's my soul. He's my religion. My favorite composer. My favorite artist. I would absolutely love to have dinner with him. We're going to stick with music the rest of the way. Bob Dylan. I consider him to be the greatest songwriter who ever lived. I love Bob Dylan. I would freaking love to talk to Bob Dylan. And then the 5th one would be Maria Callas, considered by many to be the greatest opera singer ever to live. I don't like the label greatest this or greatest that. I would definitely consider her my favorite opera singer and one of the greatest who ever lived. And she lived a really tragic life as well. So that is appealing, I guess. Is that weird to say? But I guess that connects me to her more is a better way to put it. 2 celebrity hall passes. Well, I'm single, so I don't need a hall pass. But if I was with somebody and I got 2 hall passes, it'd be Jason Bateman and Chris Pratt. I don't think an explanation is necessary there. 3 celebrities you'd love to have a drink at the pub with. Well, that would be my three of my favorite English actresses. Alison Steadman, I think she would just be a hoot. Joanna Lumley, not as Patsy Stone from Absolutely Fabulous, but Joanna has done this amazing series on BBC where she travels around the world, and I would just love to talk to her about that. And then Olivia Colman. I just love Olivia Colman. You're spending the next 12 months on a desert island and can only take 1 book, 1 movie, 1 TV series, and 1 album. Well, my book would probably be Stephen King's The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. It's one of my favorite books, and I absolutely love it. It's quite a different book from Stephen King than his other books. It's about a little girl who gets lost in the woods, and she loves I believe he played for the Boston Red Sox in the book, Tom Gordon, a baseball player. And it's scary from the perspective of a little girl being lost in the woods, but it's not the horror of Stephen King's other material. Movie would definitely be Muriel's Wedding. That is my all-time favorite movie, and why I love it so much is if you haven't seen it, it's about a girl, Muriel, who thinks she's nothing, and it's not only until she gets everything she thought she ever wanted that she realized that the girl who was nothing was amazing. And I just love that movie. It touches my heart. It's funny. It's just brilliant and amazing, and I love Toni Collette. I just love that movie. I watch it at least once a year. I think I gotta watch it this weekend. It's been a while. TV series, Gavin and Stacey. It's my favorite sitcom ever. It's a British sitcom. Alison Steadman is in it, and she's one of my favorite characters. When I was living with my good friend Melissa, who moved out a year or so ago because she got married, I would have to pass her room to get to anywhere in the house. My room was, well, now it's all mine, but at the time, my room was in the very front of the house. And literally for months, every time I would walk by her room, Gavin and Stacy would be on, and I would always tease her about it. And now I've probably watched it more than she has. It's just brilliant and hilarious and chock full of absolutely lovable characters. One album, this is tough. I would probably take Sinead O'Connor's I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got. That's probably my favorite album of all time. So that would definitely go with me. Put together a playlist for us by choosing a song you play when you need to get out of your own head. Well, that would be What a Wonderful World. That is my all-time favorite song. I love it so much. It just transports me kind of to a different, more relaxing place. And it's beautiful. A song you play when you need to get the day going or for a workout. Well, Lady Gaga's Judas. God, 7 years ago now, I did a half marathon, and when I was training, God, when I needed it, that song would be on repeat because that would get me going. Song that gets you on the dance floor. Well, it's been a long time since I've been on a dance floor, so I don't have anything current with that regard, but you know, a song that always is in my head is Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. I always have it in my head, and that would probably be it for that. Number 4 is a song you like to sing at the top of your lungs in the car. Well, that would be REM's Losing My Religion. I love that song. And when I was in Cabo last week, we were at a Mexican restaurant and there was a mariachi band, and they came over to our table and started playing that song, and it was beautiful, but I absolutely love that song. The last one, a song that invokes a strong memory when you hear it. Well, that was super easy. That's 10,000 Maniacs, These Are Days. That album, Our Time in Eden, was released in '92 when I moved to Minneapolis to go to the University of Minnesota. So that song was basically about that journey. These are the days we'll remember. And whenever I hear that song most reminds me of that time and most reminds me of college, and I think it always will. Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates? Well, the first thing I would like him to say is, Ruth's here, that's my cat. Assuming I outlive her, I hope when I get to heaven, she's there, as well as other loved ones. But I would want him to say, welcome to your garden. I love gardens. I think, if there's something I need in eternity that's not, former pets or people I love, I would be happy as Buell of a cow, as Bette Midler says in Big Business. I would be happy as Buell of a cow, whatever the hell that actually means. If I just had a garden, that's all I need. It's just a big, huge, beautiful garden. Well, there it is. Fun questions. I hope it was entertaining to at least some of you, but let me know what you think below. Comment on music you love. I love music, history, all of that. Let's get a conversation going. And then I'm going to tag a bunch of other YouTubers in this that I would like to have them do so I get to know them more. So thank you for bearing with me, watching this video, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.